there is one more thing I'd like to share with you about mentality. So most of us, when we approach interactions at networking events, we come into conversations thinking, what can you do for me? I mean, we can't help it, right? We want to fulfill our needs. We want to see, what can you do for me? How can you help me? How can you meet all my needs? What I want to suggest is something different, which is not what can others do for me, but it's what can I do for you? Now, I learned this about 7 years ago when I was a presenter with a strategic communications firm. I hated networking events, but it's different now. Networking events at that time in my life truly sucked. Ugh, I dreaded them. They drained my energy and resources for sure. I always left those events thinking, well, that was a waste of my time. But then something happened. This communications firm asked me to give a few presentations on successful networking. So they immersed me in their training, and it gave me a whole new appreciation for what networking really is. They trained me in a whole new mindset. And every time I gave a presentation on the subject of networking, I took advantage of the people there and practiced what I was teaching. Again, it was a great big science experiment for me. So unlike the usual, what can people do for me? How much business can I get? Who can I give my business card to? I was instead in the mindset of, how can I provide value? What can I learn about? Who can I serve? And it completely changed the way I experienced networking events. So I no longer think conferences and networking events suck because I have the offer mentality. I switched my mind, my scarcity mindset, into one of abundance. And when you go to events or even sales meetings thinking about what can people do for me, we go in fighting for resources. We think, there's not enough to go around. These are my competitors. What do I need? How can they help? So you go in with this adrenaline flowing and your brain is like, I need. That's a scarcity mentality because it implies that you don't already have enough. But by thinking how you can serve and give value, you have plenty. And you'll be surprised at how much you really have to offer. It switches you into the abundance mentality, which is a much better place to connect. So here are a few examples. Are they new in town? Suggest a restaurant that you love. Are they looking for help with a resume? Well, send them an article you just read on Forbes that lists the top 10 resume builder sites. Are they interested in what Minnesota winters have to offer? Invite them to the Luminary Loppet in February. And one more thing, advice is one of the best ways you can give of yourself. Are they feeling stuck? Offer to meet them for a cup of coffee and hear them out. They won't forget the interest you took in them, nor will they forget the validation you gave them. This works in business. This works in social situations. And because you showed up with the mentality to offer value, to be of service, can you see how it takes the pressure off of you? You move from scarcity to abundance. And now you're building relationships. You're building your network. These are the relationships that could be highly important to you in the future. So because you gave them an introduction or helped them in some way, can you see how if you needed in the future, if you needed to connect with them for whatever reason, they'd most likely pick up the phone when you call? Can you see why they'd do this for you? This, I think, is the key to unlocking people. When you can tap into people's needs, it's amazingly empowering. So your challenge this week is to pick a conversation and show up with the intention to bring value. How can you serve?